Ladies and gentlemen, live from the top of the food chain, Brooklyn, New York, a new day has arrived in cable TV. Strap yourselves in for a fun ride. It's the Cyclone Variety Show. Now here's your host, Cyclone!
People here really don't want me back. Holy smokes. What's it been? 4, 5, 22 months since I've been here? Jeez. Feels just like 87 years ago. Guys, thanks for coming. Really appreciate it. We have a huge show for you. And by huge, I mean big. Oh my God. Wait till you hear who's here. 3 incredible guests. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But first, I want to let all of you guys know, if you don't know right now, Olivia Newton-John is auctioning off her black leather outfit from Greece. That's incredible. That really is. I think I would actually go and buy it. Only problem is me wearing leather. I mean, my size, I look like a cow. You know, someone probably tried to milk me and stuff. So OJ is on Twitter. Yeah, OJ Simpson is on Twitter. You know, he better not get verified before I do. You know, storm clouds, if you don't know, a little bit of, world knowledge, hold 6 trillion raindrops. 10 minutes ago, dropped out 16 trillion teardrops. It takes Pluto 248 years to orbit around the sun, which is the average time of me walking from my bedroom to my bathroom. Hey, I'm just curious. Do you guys think Drake is this generation's Nickelback? Before I came here today, I was in Burger King. Don't judge me, all right? And I was asked by a young lady if I could be a sugar daddy. And I told her, well, if you mean by a sugar daddy a fat diabetic, I'm exactly the guy for you. I'm actually on 15 different medications, and it's making me so paranoid, I actually get jumpy when I hear the wind blow. And to be honest with you guys, my body is starting to fall apart. I'm old, I'm decrepit, and my body makes so much noise when I stand up and when I sit down, I actually think Michael Winslow's in the room with me. I went on a blind date this past weekend. Yay me. I've actually been on so many blind dates now, I'm starting to think maybe I should be given a seeing eye dog. And I want you guys to know, this is show number 27. I no longer identify myself as being fat. I identify myself as having a very hungry tapeworm. Thanos from Avengers Civil War snapped his fingers and my health disappeared. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with the Capital One, what's in your wallet commercial. Well, you know what, Capital One? You know what's in my wallet? Nothing. I can't even afford a wallet these days. And something very dear to my heart that I think you guys should all know. The mighty oak is just a little nut that stood his ground. My little nut turtles up. And I have some really, really exciting news. Besides my guest, this news is going to blow your minds. Washington State, talk about progressive. They have just blown my mind. And it's going to blow your mind too, I guarantee it. Washington State has become the first state to legalize human compost. That's right. You know what that means? That means I get to go from being a couch potato to a real potato. Yay me! So you guys ready for a show tonight? Well, look, I have some incredible guests, like I said. We have my brother from another mother, although we can't really be from the same mother because I don't think my mother could have shot both of us out. Fat Jay's in the house. Guys, if you guys are sports fans and you love combat sports, this guest is going to thrill you to no belief. He is the owner and founder of Warriors of Wrestling. Joe Bellini is here tonight. And kicking this whole shing-ding off, ladies and gentlemen, they are one of the best music duos around today. They are XNY, and here they are.
Set me on fire, my lover and I had a hard few nights getting used to the bite. I'm a shock now. Got a switchblade tucked into my teeth. It's a sharp trade for a faulty grenade. I'm a quick faithful. Who's to say I'm making friends with the monuments? I'm not the same as your brother. Who's to say I'm making friends with the monuments? I've yet to see a single man holding you. Oh! Eat me alive. I've got a knife to my throat. Now I hope you like me. It's right. How I come for the choke and I live for the fight. I'm a night hawk. Come to me close, so I know you know. Take a bite. Never be holding a rat in my jaw. Say I'm making friends with monuments. I'm not the same as your brother. Say I'm making friends with monuments. I've yet to see a single man holding you. Oh! Set me on fire, my lover. I had a hard few nights getting used to the bite. I'm a shark now. Set me on fire, set me on fire. Ooh.
See, guys, I told you XNY was great. I was right, once again. Wasn't I? Of course I was. I say I'm right, I'm right. Much like Letterman and everybody else. And our fudge sticks. I guess I can't be that good of a host if I forget pencil. How do I've been yelling at my crew this whole day, this whole night, and I forget my pencil. Oops, E-Daisy. That wasn't even a skit. That's real. That's real. That's real life, yo. Ba-da. No, I really didn't just do that because start some gang war, and I don't want to start a gang war. No. Today, this is my pencil. So, like I said, Joe Bellini, owner and founder of Warriors of Wrestling. Not only are they Staten Island's best wrestling promotion, but they are the best indie promotion there is on the planet. Nobody better on earth than my next guest, Joe Bellini. So let me ask you right off the bat, did you have a favorite wrestler growing up?
As a kid, I was a fan of a tag team called the British Bulldogs. They were a tag team in the 80s, late 80s. In the WWF, they were tag team champions. It was David Boy Smith and the Dynamite Kid. David Boy Smith actually has passed away, and Dynamite Kid is in a wheelchair.
Nice. So, did you have a background in wrestling before you got involved in WOW?
Well, before Warriors, I was wrestling. I started wrestling professionally. I was trained actually here in Brooklyn at Gleason's Gym by Johnny Rods. Trained there for a number of years and had a fallout in 2007, about halfway through 2007. And, he pissed me off, and I seen that he had no clue what he was doing as far as running shows. And I was like, I'm going to run one show, and I'm going to show you how to run a show. And on December 1st, 2007, I ran the first Warriors Wrestling show. It was only supposed to be one show. Now, we did storylines just in case there was a second show. On December 14th, 2013, we'll have our 70th show with our 6-year anniversary show.
Wow, that is awesome. Now, as the man in charge, do you have any further goals that you want for the company?
I just want to see the company grow. I like watching the talent on the roster of the wrestlers grow as the company grows, but I really want to see the company, do more locations, maybe more regular shots throughout the 5 boroughs and into maybe Yonkers, Long Island, maybe upstate. Maybe go back into Jersey a little bit, maybe Pennsylvania. Anywhere we go, we would like to go.
Now, there's a lot of indie groups out there.
Mm-hmm.
So what separates you guys from everybody else?
Honest opinion?
Yeah. I mean, you could let it all loose.
Have you seen all these other indie shows?
Well, I've heard of, and I've kind of not seen directly, but I've
Look at these other indie companies. They bring in guys. Let's say you, for example. You're not a wrestler, but let's say you know 30 people. I could bring 30 people to your show. You have no clue what you're doing. You're not trained. You're not in shape. No offense.
right. True.
The promoter will be like, "Oh, you could bring 30 people. Let me put you in the ring," and then that kills the show.
Well, see, here's where that problem happens right off the bat.
It's all over the place.
Because as a stand-up comic, we have bringer shows, and I am having problems doing a 2-person bringer for stand-up, where I'm actually supposedly good at. So bringing 30 for wrestling, unless there's 30 people that want to see me get my ass kicked.
But it's not that. It's that I'm wrestling you in a match. The match is going to be terrible because
Right.
you don't know what you're doing. So the people that come to this show, they'll be like, that was horrible. I'll never go to any show again, no matter what it is. And then when a good company like mine comes in, who doesn't use ticket sellers, we only use trained athletes, guys that look like wrestlers, guys that belong in the ring. They won't come see our product because they're so, they see this other crap and they'll be like, why would I spend another $10, $15, $20, $25 to see anything?
Right. On that note, has there ever been a indie group versus indie group like crossover?
We did a pre-show for Jersey All Pro when they were in business about 2 years ago. About 2 years ago. As far as, I'm sure there is. With us, we really kind of just do our own thing. We have a good relationship with Joel Maximo's group, Ludus School. I think it's Fighting Spirit Wrestling is the actual name of their promotion. We have a good relationship with them. Fat Frank with Jersey All Pro, have a relationship with. Other than that, I really don't. I don't care to do business with anybody else.
Now, I know from doing this show, and like I said, being a stand-up, copyright rules are really tough. For example, there used to be a bar in Brooklyn called the Dodger Brooklyn. Okay. And the O'Malley family sued the owners of this bar and said, "You are confusing people with the Brooklyn Dodgers." And this was some poor schmo had to close down his bar because the O'Malley's family said that. And in the words of Mr. Wonderful, not Paul Orndorff, but Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, what's stopping someone from a bigger company, say like a Vince McMahon, for example, from coming in and just crushing you with his $200 million lawyers?
What's he gonna sue me for?
Well, I'm saying, is there any closeness where he says, you guys are coming close to something we do, stop?
Because I used the word wrestling, and I think that's the only thing close I could imagine that I would do that's close to what WWE is doing. I mean, I'm allowed to have a wrestling promotion just like anybody else is. I'm not using World Wrestling Federation or World Wrestling Entertainment. I'm using Warriors of Wrestling.
Well, right, but like I said, it was...
Wrestling's a universal word.
Right.
So I don't know what he would sue me for. I don't use any of his videos or footage on my YouTube channels or anything like that. So I doubt it.
Now, there was a comment made by Donovan McNabb recently that said NASCAR drivers aren't athletes.
They're not.
Yes, they are.
How are they athletes? They sit in the car and they turn left.
Because they are. But there's always been the stigma with wrestling also. They're athletes, they're entertainers, it's real, it's fake. Where do you stand on it?
You're going to compare a NASCAR driver to a
No,
professional wrestler?
Well, look.
Well, here, I'll tell you what. Is as far as... do you want me to debate the NASCAR question? Or?
Well, no, I mean...
I drove here in my car. I parked across the street. Does that make me an athlete for doing that? And I actually turned right a few times. I mean...
Well, there's off-road racing, but I'm just saying that when...
First of all, I think professional wrestling, the professional wrestlers themselves, and I'm not talking about, like I said, anybody who gets 30 people. I'm talking about the guys that actually are legit, the guys that actually take this seriously. In my opinion, they're some of the best trained athletes in the world. You could start working out and you could jog, all right? And you're in pretty good shape. If I get you in a ring to train with me and I'm throwing you around and I'm bumping you around, you're going to blow up. You're going to be out of breath. It's a different workout than just getting on the treadmill or getting on the elliptical. It's so much more cardiovascular. And then to take that pounding, to be thrown around, to be falling. And I'm not talking about with chairs or any of that. I'm just talking about your basic, being body slammed or being arm dragged or anything. And getting up and moving. And how is that not an athlete? Where the guy's sitting in his car going like this. I just don't think that's...
Well, see, here's where I say that wrestlers are more athlete than entertainer because...
But they're entertainers too. There is acting involved. There is... I'll tell you what, if I'm watching wrestling, forget about me being a promoter, just watching on television. If the guy's boring and he's not doing nothing, then I won't watch it. So the guy has to be an entertainer. Hulk Hogan is probably one of the greatest entertainers of all time.
Right. But see, what I was thinking was that where football, baseball, basketball, hockey have seasons, and even though the off season's kind of expanding, and it's now year-round training, wrestlers, boxers, in that line of work, it's more year-round where you don't have an off season.
Well, it's all year-round. Well, boxing, I mean, I don't know too much about it. Word UFC. I know these guys training all year, and then they have their fight, and then they'll be off for a few months, and then what have you, where a wrestler wrestles sometimes a few, I don't know what WWE's schedule is. I believe it's at least 4 times a week these guys are going, and then they're traveling, and they're working out, and they got to watch what they eat. So these guys are, their bodies are taking a beating, and they're doing this all year long.
Right.
At my level, it's once a month, twice a month, maybe 3 times a month. But it's all year long. It's not like Major League Baseball. I think is from was it March, the end of March to October beginning of November. Yeah. With obviously then they have the exhibitions. And
right. As president of the company, if you could set up any match with either your roster, no, you know what? Let me change that. with any wrestler in the history of wrestling, if you can set up one match, what would it be?
At anybody I could pick?
Anybody, any type of a match? I mean, like your
Dynamite,
dream match.
yeah, I went right off the top of my head. Dynamite Kid versus Chris Benoit.
Wow.
I don't think it's ever. I'm pretty sure it never happened. And Dynamite Kid was Chris Benoit's idol, and they have a very similar style.
And Chris was a vicious beast and laser fast.
So was Dynamite Kid.
Right.
I think Chris Benoit was a little bit taller. Dynamite at one point was like 2.25 at 5'8", and remember the Bulldogs.
Yeah. Does it ever feel odd or strange mixing it up with a legend or people that you grew up watching? You know, like the Goldust, the Demolitions.
Well, I didn't get in the ring with them, so I don't
Right.
know. But having Demolition on my show was actually really cool for me because I grew up watching them when I was in junior high school. So and I told them that when I met them. Other than that, the other guys, I'm like whatever. But Demolition to me was because I grew up watching them.
Right.
But as far as being in the ring with them, I couldn't tell you. I didn't put myself against them.
No, but like, does it feel odd, like being a kid growing up watching them, and now they're
For a moment, yeah. I wouldn't say odd. It's
I wouldn't say like low.
it's a cool. It's like sometimes you're in awe like that, but then that only lasts like a moment. Then you realize you're here to do a job, and I'm so busy you see me at the shows, and I'm running around, and I know some people comment, I can't even talk to you at a show, and it's unfortunate. Then they blow up my phone, but I'm busy today at the shows.
Has anyone ever turned you down for?
As far as names, like legends? Not today. I mean, unless they were previously booked, no. If they were booked that day already, then yeah. But other than that, no.
Okay, so what if you had to say one thing is more important than the other? Would it be showmanship or physique or mic skills or?
It's all the same. It's all you have to. You don't want to go to a show and see somebody that looks like your next door neighbor or somebody that should be cutting your lawn. You want to see somebody that's at least in shape. I'm not saying they have to be 300 pounds or 6'9". Look the part. Look like you know what the inside of a gym looks like. Does everybody have to be good on the mic? No, because we'll assign you a manager. And with the manager, that's what made managers so great in the 80s. And I think that's something that at the WWE level right now is missing. And you have to entertain the crowd. You got to have the crowd is there because they want to be involved in the match. They don't want to just sit there. They want you to talk to them, and they want to yell or cheer or boo you, and they want to be involved in the show. That's a huge part of it. You could go out there and do the amateur wrestling.
Right.
And they're great athletes too. But it's how much of that can you see?
True. I don't know if you'd want to say any names, but is there someone or more than someone, maybe a couple, on your own roster that you could see possibly in the future stepping it up, moving along to the big time?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You want me to name the names?
I mean, I guess I'll take. I'll take that.
There's a few guys. One off the top of my head.
Because wait. Before you say, I'm sure when they're going to be watching, and then they're going to have problems with you.
I don't. Well, that would be a first.
But I don't want to be blamed, and then I get jumped because this pretty face.
There's a few guys on my roster. There's a guy. I'll tell you what. He's not on my roster anymore. Spartan. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah.
He's actually involved at Ring of Honor right now. I don't know if he's on their full-time roster, but he's working with the company. I could see him, going places. His size might hurt him, but I definitely believe he has the talent. So he's not on my roster, so I could say him without getting anybody mad at me. But anybody out there watching, there's a few guys on my roster I feel could definitely make it to the next level.
Oh, I see this locker room just savoring and the liquid coming
I
down.
said a few guys.
Right.
I'm not going to say who.
That's.
They know who, but you know who you are.
Presidents have to be political, and that was perfect.
I don't sugarcoat anything. I say what's on my mind. But they know who they are. If these are guys that know what they're doing in the ring, that know what the inside of a gym looks like, that actually give a damn, they know. Right. I don't need to say it. You want me to name one guy? I'll name one. I'll name one because he's my champion. Chris Steeler is a guy I can see on TV. And quite a few other guys I definitely can say the same about, but I'm not going to say I'm going to go through the whole list. But Chris Steeler is a guy on my roster. He's a WOW heavyweight champion. I could definitely see him on TV one day.
And it's kind of good that you said him in a way, because when I've seen him 3 matches now, I will say this: Chris is absolutely amazing to watch, and he does have that it factor where he lights up the ring, and the audience just.
He's been my champion for
You know-
December 1st will be a year, and his next title defense is December 14th against Nero, a guy that actually is homegrown from Warriors Wrestling. That's going to be a hell of a match. He's our longest running champion right now.
Wow. So with things seem to be going down the lines where women's wrestling has taken a backseat and slid slightly. Do you
As
think
far
there's a
as-
reason
As far
that
as we're
it's
on
like
TV, or as far as
TV
on my level.
TV? I don't even know if it's on the indie level, but it seems like to have died out.
No, I think on TV there's tons of divas. That's what they're called now. Majority of them don't know what they're doing in the ring, and they're not there to wrestle. They're there for TNA.
Right.
Where years ago, these women actually were very tough. And I'm not saying there's some of them are tough, but majority of them are just there to be models.
Right.
On the indie level, there is some actual really good wrestlers. There's all women promotions, and they have like a niche audience. And I don't know how they do live. I know their DVD sales are usually pretty good because you got perverted people out there that want to see. And then they have different type of matches like wrestle barefoot and all different kinds of wacky crap. But actually, it does pretty well for the DVD sales.
And by perverted, he actually means me.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, what can I say? I live the dream. Okay, so like you mentioned, December 14th is your 6th-year anniversary.
Yes, sir.
First of all, congratulations on
Thank
that.
you. We were only supposed to last a show.
Right.
So that's 70 shows later.
So, you're mixing it up with Scotty Priest.
Yes.
Now,
Priest.
I want to ask you this question, and it's going to be blunt, so don't take it the wrong way. Why the hell is it so hard to contain him and those disciples? I mean,
Let me contain them. There's 4 of them.
I mean,
They come out to Well, do you want to discuss what type of match this is first?
yeah, sure.
The stipulation of this match is it's a kiss my ass match. The loser has to literally kiss the winner's ass.
So in other words, I'm hoping you
I'm
don't
hoping I
shower.
win too.
I mean, do me a favor. Don't shower for like a week before, and don't wipe for like
Oh, come on.
at least for the day.
Jeez.
Listen, Scotty does. I've seen half the antics that Scotty does.
I don't think he ever showers.
Okay, so I mean, if he's going to do that to hey, one good turn deserves another. Give it to him, but good, man. And recently you were bestowed quite an honor from the Staten Island Boys
Yes,
Football
Mike
League.
Scotty, yes.
First of all, what does that mean to you? And
It was cool. It definitely was cool. I know that Warriors, myself, and all my guys, the company, all the staff, we do a lot of charity work on Staten Island. Last year, at the 5-year anniversary, was we raised money for the Staten Island victims of Hurricane Sandy. Everybody knows that Staten Island got hit pretty hard. We did a Toys for Tots at the same show. James Haynes, who's actually sitting here,
Yeah.
he lost his home, and we all donated our salaries that night to him.
Oh wow.
We do, for a friend of yours, Autism Speaks.
Yeah.
We do once a year. We do an annually in April. We've done for kids with special needs out in Howell, New Jersey, at the Howell Elks. We've done Earth Day out in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. We try to do as much charity work as we can. So for that, and then we did the Staten Island Boys football, where we we try to raise money for them. And I didn't expect that, and Mike told me I was getting it, and I was honored. It was great. It made me feel good.
I hope that's hanging up.
Yes, it's in my bar downstairs in my basement.
Very nice.
All my Buffalo Bills memorabilia.
See, it's a wonderful world where a Buffalo Bill fan can get together with a Seattle Seahawk fan, okay, and be very happy.
Different conference, though.
Yeah.
If you were a Jets fan, it'd be a different issue.
Oh no,
Uh,
F them.
exactly.
Well, I'm going to be rooting for you on December 14th,
Thank you. I hope the whole place is.
and I want to thank you for not suplexing me through this cheap table that I have since I no longer have a desk. Thank you, Brick. And maybe one day I will step inside that ring.
Oh, That's really exciting.
Once again, though, seriously, thanks for coming down. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. Anytime.
No problem. And so hey guys, I want to know, you guys want to rock some more? I know I do, 'cause I like to take a rock and smash it in my head. It's been one of those days. It started out as a good day. I don't know why I ain't finishing like the one. Anyways, once again, here is X and Y.
How did you know I was feeling so tired? Honey, you got this hold on me. Ooh, like a white wire. Sit me down, wake me up. Ooh, I can tell you're just a rattlesnake and I'm some kind of rat caught in your I wanna shake and make a family. I wanna love you inside out. I wanna build you a big white house, pool, and a side door. I think I love you. I think I care. I wanna love you everywhere and every tear. You should know I'm not a whore. I'm just a kid. I'm just a kid, honey, looking for the back door. I wanna take you out, show you off and dance around. I wanna want you in my hair, in the car, in the middle of the room. I want you. I wanna want you all to myself for the rest of my selfish life.
So, you two are really, really good. Let me
Thanks.
squeeze my large body in. So, I got to ask you guys, how'd you come up with X and Y?
As the band name?
Yeah.
Well, it's actually a really silly story.
It's just boring. It's not that like crazy or intricate or like deep. It's just
Yeah, we really we thought of a bunch, and then it was honestly like, what are we? A boy and a girl. What are those? Chromosomes. What
That's
band
actu-
name is
that's
it
actually
taken?
pretty, that's actually pretty smart.
Yeah.
Actually. Now Fuse has you guys as the number 3
Mhm.
band to watch in 2014.
Yes.
I killed the other 2, and you guys go to number 1. But seriously, how does that feel?
That was really cool. Jacob and I were actually at a bar, and we were drinking, obviously, and we got a text that said we were on TV, and so I think my dad taped it and he sent it to us because all they were showing at the bar were sports channels, and then he filmed it and we saw it and we got the news and it was really great. I mean, it's so flattering, and we love Fuse. We grew up watching it, so.
I don't know if you guys have been to the studio, but it's across the street from Madison Square Garden.
Mhm.
And I haven't been lucky enough to be there either. I mean, they usually stop me at the door and won't let me in. But yeah, that's where actually Fuse is. Musically, who would you guys say influences you?
Oh, there's so many. Jacob was actually, he studied jazz for a while. We both grew up listening to a lot of rock music. I grew up listening to a lot of Bruce Springsteen and Janis Joplin. So those are like my two main influences. And then now we listen to a lot of like the White Stripes, like Jack White, amazing guitar player.
Oh, I'm so happy you didn't say like Justin Bieber and stuff. Yeah.
I've never heard a Justin Bieber song.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know the.
I'm
Oh,
really
you are so
excited about
blessed.
it. I
You
know,
are
I
so
feel it.
blessed.
I know the chorus of the baby one, but that's it. I
Yeah.
think, just because of I went to a department store one time. So.
Now, you guys have one interesting thing over any other band, and that's that you guys started out separately, and now you guys are like roommates.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when it comes to writing a song,
Mm-hmm.
if there's a disagreement, she wins, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's normally the way. I'm just curious, I gotta ask. It would be wrong if I didn't, but she basically wins all the time, right?
Most of the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
You better say yes.
Well, I want to say thank you guys
Thank
very
you.
much
We've had a blast.
for coming out.
Maybe next time
much
I'll bring the
success.
full kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe next time we'll be a little bit more professional around here. Crow. All right. You guys ready to laugh? Because you all weren't really laughing for my stuff, and I'm the host. I don't know why you weren't laughing. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, like I said before, brother from another mother. Yeah, that's the way it goes. Brother from another mother. Anyways, all the way from Strong Island, New York, came all the way to Brooklyn just for you guys because he cares. Ladies and gentlemen, very funny friend of mine, Fat J.
It's a great day to be alive. Thank you for having me, Cyclone. More importantly, it's a monumental day in my life because for the first time in my 42 years, I may not be the fattest guy in the room. Now, we didn't break out the scales or anything. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when you're my size, people are mean. They're all over us. They make fun of us. Just the other day, even little kids make fun of us. I was hanging out with my nephew. He comes running up to me, jabs me in the stomach with a stick. I'm like, oh, my God, what'd you do that for? He goes, I just wanted to see you go, poof. Little kids. And, of course, this happened at my aunt's house. Now, my aunt loves me. She's always on top of me. You know, Jay, stop calling yourself Fat Jay. Just use your real name. 10 minutes later, I hear my cousin in the kitchen. Oh, my God, who broke the folding chair? My aunt, all the way from the living room. Fat Jay, who do you think? I was like, I guess we're just going to stick with that then. Now, when you go to restaurants, people are mean. The host or the hostess, every time you walk in the building, they always ask this really dumb question. Sir, would you like a booth or a table? Yeah, stick me in a booth. Nothing says bon appetit like a 2x4 wedged in my chest as I'm gasping for my last breath of air. Could you please pass the salt? It's a tough world. It's a tough, tough world. As a matter of fact, the other day I'm hanging out with my girlfriend, and I know you're not going to believe this, but she's smoking hot. Absolute smoke show. People automatically assume that she's my sister. You know, Jay, your sister's really beautiful. Well, she's my girlfriend, guy. But she is one of those weirdos. She's one of those organic, non-GMO vegan freaks. Completely out of her mind. She took everything that we have in the house and threw it out and replaced it with organic, non-GMO. That included my deodorant. I got to work that day. Everyone in the office is like, oh, my God, what's that stench? I was like, yeah, today it's me, guys. Today it's me. When I got home that night, there was the organic queen sitting on the couch. I sat down. Next thing you know, she's like, oh, my God, what is that smell? That's the scent of a 400-pound man wearing organic, non-GMO deodorant, honey. Ever since that day, strictly Speed Stick.
Now, I hate flying because you skinny people are mean. You guys always like to stare at me. So I like to mess with you people. Before I board that plane, I go in the bathroom. I splash a lot of water on my face so it looks like I'm sweating profusely as I slowly walk down that aisle, looking at every seat as you guys pray to the Lord above. Oh my God, please don't sit next to me. Please don't sit next to me. So what I like to do is purposely walk past my seat till I hear that sigh of relief. Get in my chair. Next thing you know, here comes the waitress. Excuse me, sir. You're going to have to wear this seatbelt extender because yours doesn't fit. So I answer matter of fact. Well, ma'am, if we crash and they find the wreckage, they're going to find two things. The black box and my fat ass stuck in this chair. Are you kidding me right now? It's a tough life when you're my size. People also ask you stupid questions, and they do stupid things. Like my girlfriend signed me up for a cult. She bought me one of those Fitbits for Christmas. Good news is, though, I had my most productive day last weekend. I did 32,000 steps in a 3-hour time span. I was at a Chinese buffet. Can I tell you I was hungry a half hour later? Now, to deal with all this craziness in my life, I smoke weed, and I smoke weed every day. And I buy my weed from black guys because I'm not scared of them. But they, too, like to ask a stupid question every time I go purchase this stuff. Yo, big man, is you police? Police? When's the last time you seen a 400-pound police? The only thing I chase after is the ice cream truck. Are you kidding me right now? Now, when you smoke weed, people automatically assume that you could get them other drugs, too. Just the other day, this guy calls me up and he goes, Fat Jay, can you get me some phentamine? I'm like, what is phentamine? I've never heard of that. He goes, they're diet pills. I'm like, really, guy? Would you call a nun and ask her to get you a vibrator? Are you kidding me? But I do want to tell you, being fat does come with some advantages. You see this thing right here? It's a built-in strapless fanny pack. And I could hide stuff in there. Like right now, I have my favorite beverage, a can of Coke, a 1/4 ounce of weed, a bong to smoke it out of, and 20 of those phentamine pills, just in case I get crazy and want to start a diet on Monday. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am Fat Jay, proof that fat lives do matter. Halloween is right around the corner, and a little fat kid's going to knock on your door. Please don't laugh at him. What I'm begging you to do is not laugh, because his costume's going to look like it's a second skin. Because in our world, one size does not fit all. Now, don't laugh. Reach in your bowl and give that little fat boy 2 or 3 extra pieces of candy and whisper in his ear, Fat Lives Matter. I am Fat Jay, ladies and gentlemen, and proof that fat lives do matter.
Showing up.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, sir.
Yes, a comic should know to speak into the microphone.
I do. This one threw me off a little bit.
I know it's like rocket science.
Yeah, it's a tough life, you know.
So I have to ask you, as someone that's doing stand-up consistently right now, how do you handle the political climate?
You're talking about Trump and all that stuff?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
I ignore that because it doesn't matter who's in office. Every single day I have to get up and go to my day job. Until they pluck me out of regular society and bring me to Hollywood, then maybe I'll have time to worry about that. But I pay taxes, I go to work, and it doesn't matter who's living in that White House. I got to go to work.
So, do you have you decided to stay away from the political stuff on stage?
Yeah, I'm actually just focused on bringing awareness to, bullying and what fat people go through. You know, Cyclone. It's a tough life for us.
You should see how much stuff I have to deal with here. Never mind being fat. Thin people here. Oy, oy, oy.
I was a little nervous coming up because, we're on the top of the food chain here in Brooklyn. I was just hoping there was an elevator and not all stairs.
Yeah, they put the elevator in with me, and sometimes it's had problems.
Well, thank God it works today.
So what do you think makes one of those breakout stand-up comics?
I'm actually too new to tell you, but I'm just trying to get out there. Any exposure I can get, that's what I'm looking for. I've heard stories that 4 minutes changed someone's life dramatically. He went from being a regular at the comedy clubs and 4 minute little comedy spiel. Next thing you know, he had bodyguards. So I think it's just a matter of right place at the right time. Work hard. Do as good as you can every time you're on stage, and make the audience laugh. That's what they're there for. They're paying good money to laugh. Give them what they came for.
Now, being that you're newer to the field, on average so far, how long do you think it takes you to come up with a bit or a set where you say, yeah, that's something solid that I want to keep on continuing?
What I like to do is keep my trusty iPhone with me. Apple, don't forget me one day. You'll need me to do commercials. I jot down notes because a lot of things happen to me, like, the whole folding chair bit at my aunt's house. They're all true stories. I'm fat. You never know. You can break something. You could split your pants at any second. And that's what I'm there for. I write it down, and I'll work on it later on. And I try it at work because those are my biggest critics, the guys I work with. And if they laugh, I hope the audience will laugh. And that's what I'm there for.
Now, hardcore stand-ups are different and have very much opposing views as improvisation, improv comics, and also storytellers as well. It's sort of like a triad, actually. All three of us have opposing views towards each. So, do you have, not so much do you have, but what would be your opinion as far as storytellers and improvers are concerned?
I don't really have an opinion. I don't judge anyone else. My sets are my life events and storytellers. I can go off the top, if you needed me to or if I wanted to. I'm just looking to perfect the craft and be as good as I can. I don't worry about anyone else and what they're doing. If you wanted to do improv, I could probably come up with something. I haven't, studied it as much, but I'm just willing to do whatever it takes because it's all about sharing laughter. I've had a tough life, and I want to give joy to the world, and that's what the world is lacking these days, in my opinion. And I just want to make people happy. And if they come to a show, if you could laugh at me for 10 minutes, I'd rather you laugh at me than the little fat kid walking in the streets.
And I actually like their way of thinking.
I'm a very humble guy. I'm blessed to do this. I'm living my dream. I've been made fun of my whole life. So there's kids out there nowadays, Cyclone, they're killing themselves on Facebook Live because they're being bullied and stuff. I was a kid that was raised in the 80s, so I was, a different lifestyle than we have nowadays. The millennials tend to be a little more offended at things. I just took it, fired back as best as I could, and hopefully they cried harder than I did when they got home. And now their moms make me cookies, That's what I like to say,
And on that note, I'm actually getting kind of hungry.
Me too. My cousin always says, well, don't ever go anywhere hungry. I'm always hungry. Look at me. Are you kidding me, It's a crazy life being this size.
You don't say.
I do say.
I'm just happy the floor stayed solid without.
This chair's a little wobbly, I do want to tell you. But don't blame me for it.
No, listen, enough stuff here, brick breaks down. Chair wouldn't be a issue.
It happens.
I do want to thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me. If I could plug myself real quick.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
You can find me on Facebook at J Christopher. I am also on Instagram at Fat J's World. I sell these T-shirts. They're Fat Lives Matter. They're for everyone. Wear them proudly and spread love, spread joy, spread laughter, and don't make fun of fat people and be fat people friendly. Thank
I
you
agree.
again, sir, for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you very much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we say goodbye, I do have an announcement to make. I said it was a huge show. Well, here's another huge announcement. I know, look, we just came back, first show back, a little bit rusty, kind of like the Tin Man in The Wizard of Oz. But you know what? We're going away again. We're going into summer hiatus. So it's one and done for now. Guys, until September when I come back, I want all you guys to check out CycloneComedy.com. And until September, like I say at the end of every show, stay humble, America.